Hello YouTube, Ronin Kaze. I got this part down. Last video had the volume messed up still. Hey, we're in Star Wars Old Republic. I told you I wasn't going to show you this part, but this video is about something else, but Star Wars is going to be going on in the background. Just give you an idea of what's coming up here shortly. I'm going to take a 1 terabyte hard drive out of one of my other Cache OS laptops, put it the half terabyte drive into it, so I'll have to go through the whole process of reinstalling everything. I'm going to try to record it. The bummer about recording it is I got to record it on a camera externally, so the screenshots are a little crappy. I got to set it up a little bit. There's glare and everything else, so I got to work on getting that to you. But I'll show you some of that process, so it's pretty easy for you. You'll see once you experience it, be like, I should have done this a long time ago. I also want to thank one of the YouTube audience reached out to me. We talked about some other things, but let me know that they kind of like the Linux stuff, so I'm going to keep doing that. I see from the numbers that you guys like that, so I'm going to keep on that. I also want to keep it fresh. It's amazing when I look on YouTube, there's lots of other people coming to the same conclusion and catching us, but I think a lot of those places just got to generate content, so they like this one this week, this one that week, whatever. But I'll try to articulate better reasons why I like what I have. So this is like the middle of on the screen right now, this is like the middle of this quest line. At one point you see my internet goes out for a little bit, so I'm just kind of stuck. We're not there yet. This video, the title, the thumbnail was Guess the AI. So you know what I've told you about in this Star Wars, that AI and robots and artificial intelligence plays a big role in this. But when I was talking to this fellow YouTube person, one of the person that watch, we both talked about some people that we knew. And I'm not going to mention their names. They don't watch this. They'd never see this, right? And I would say it to their face. I probably have said it to their face. But you may know this about people in your life. Fake Mike, by the way. Like, subscribe, share, unsubscribe, resubscribe. Maybe I'll plug this in sometime. Basically, I'm recording off a old Apple iPhone, and then I transfer it to my iPad, and it does it through AirDrop, which is convenient. That's really why I'm doing it like this way. Why do I have the red light on? A lot of times I'm doing this at night, and the red light, when I was in the Coast Guard, they would have red lights on at night, so you lose your night vision. I'm sorry, YouTube. So that's why it's red. There's no conspiracy thing, although it's just what I got taught in the Coast Guard, and so I'm preserving my night vision in case I have to go out and watch. All right. So this video is mainly about, there's going to be some Linux parts that we'll talk about a little bit, some updates, and I might have covered most of those. But why do people that are otherwise successful make these mistakes? That is a book. I've mentioned this woman before, maybe not by name. Her name was Anna Maravella. She had the idea of the baby in the back seat, but she has a book, Self-Defeating Habits of Otherwise Successful People. She came and mitigated some, we're having workplace problems, hostile work environment, not a great place to work, and she came and the company I was with hired her to help mitigate some of that stuff. And that's never left me. And I often am wondering, why do people do some of the things they do? So why do people work so hard to be so competitive when ultimately it's ruining their lives? I'll give you an example. Typically in the United States, we sell differently than other people in the world. Other countries are very small, so they see the value of having more salespeople. Take example, a country like Germany. It's a relatively small country compared to the United States, and they might have 12 salespeople to cover all the different geographies. Then when it comes to US, they only have 4. I mean, that's a money thing, obviously, but right, you can never cover and expect to sell well in the United States if you only have 4 salespeople. And if you have 4 salespeople, you should put them in specific markets. And those are easy to figure out, but we're not here to help the Germans or the Japanese or anyone sell here in the United States. What I'm going to talk about is other people that may have a job and they may be on a sales team and they're all competitive with each other. But in reality, that's like horrible, because when you're competitive with that other person might be doing good. You might be in a historically underperforming marketplace. And so you're always going to need to be carried a little bit. Why doesn't your company just focus and narrow, right? Because that's a downward spiral. You're decreasing your market and you're doing that. So that's one case where it's just obviously that if other people on my team are successful, it's going to help carry me. Think about in the United States right now, football's getting near the end of the year where it's getting closer to playoffs, and you're on a team. And some people, you might be competitive in your same locker room, but everyone benefits if they go to the playoffs because they all get more money. And. So, yes, while they're more competitive than salespeople say, I'm so, whatever, dude, or ma'am. But there's another example where it's better that your team does good. And think about the NFL on a whole. It's better that the NFL does better than basketball so that you make more money. And some people could complain that maybe when NBA players take time off to rest, that hurts the NBA, but you got to look at other demographics, right? Every thing isn't so simple that you sitting on the sidelines at home can figure it out. And get back to the person or you while you're in this situation. You may want to extend some grace to other people because they're helping to cover you. Now, obviously, your view of this changes from each spot. I've never been the best salesperson. But that's not my number one place I compete. Because when I was in management, I was like always the best manager. And so how do you know if you're the best manager? It's that the people that work for you are the most performing. So my job as a manager was to remove obstacles for people so they could do their job and they could get their fulfillment that way. I didn't need to go to my boss and say, because I'm doing a nice job for them, they're doing... No, that's inherent to everyone up above you. Some people will acknowledge it, some people won't. And that's like in sales. They can see the numbers, but you can see why don't we duplicate the best salesperson, do it ever? Because usually it's not something that can be duplicated. Because if it was YouTube, everyone would do it. If I could sell you something, I would right now. I'd sell you buying me a cup of coffee, but that's not how it works. You're going to feel at some point. I kept a good video in there. I'm doing lightsaber stuff. At some point, you're going to decide whether I've earned enough of your business to buy me a cup of coffee or to say support the channel or whatever. And your support may just be liking and watching it and just letting it play so I get more time of your video, or you're watching it all the way through. I know some of you would like to comment, and I think I explained before, me responding to comments takes a lot more time. It's a whole nother part to this. And until I monetize it where this part's paid for, it makes no sense to just give that other part for free. So if you really need to talk to me, buy me a cup of coffee and we could talk. But I appreciate you watching the videos 100%. And I've watched videos I probably got to buy advertising, and you don't want to hear about all that, but that's what I got to do to grow the channel. Organically, you guys have been fantastic. But I also have to realize what can I do better? I can make better content. I could do it. There's a whole bunch of things I can do, but when I was talking to this person today, hard work just isn't enough. It's also not luck. Sometimes you got to invest in things. So I'm not at the point where I want to invest in myself. And I got to figure out how much that's going to be and what am I looking to get. Just like I've told you in these sales arguments, what is the person, when you're sitting down and you're going to sell something to someone, what are they expecting to get out of it? So you take their needs analysis, most sales processes call that. Find out what they got now. Find out what their make or breaks is. What do they have to have? When I used to sell CMMs, they'd usually have one part that was a high cycle part that they needed to check, and they had to have it done in 42 seconds. So if our machine couldn't measure it accurately in 42 seconds, why should they buy from me? They shouldn't. And then finally, you got to express this future state. That's the part of sales is fun. Imagine that you can check every part in 38 seconds, and then you can produce more parts. You have some room to grow, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But what we're talking about today is, why are you defeating yourself? Or you have people in your group are defeating. But what I want to focus on today, and what me and my fellow YouTuber, listener, video watcher, audience member said is, we focus on ourselves first. So if you're always pointing outward, you're probably the problem. It's like the joke about the a-hole. Remember that joke, YouTube? If you ask, you have to ask who the a-hole in the group is. It's probably you, YouTube. And I'll talk into the mic a little bit more. So, how do you know where the AI is, right? Second off, going back to Star Wars Old Republic, that guy's creepy. He's going to be one of my companions. He's creepy, he always tries to flirt on me. Don't be that person, YouTube. A creepy. The first time he said it, I didn't choose flirt. I said, don't flirt. And my lizard companion was like, yeah, don't flirt, bro. So there he is on the screen right now. Horrible, that guy. In his coat. And he's a doctor.
But it's complicated. It'll take some time.
Anyways, YouTube.
It won't go faster if
Are you that person? And then what I said to my friend that we're talking to, the audience guy, person, was that a lot of people just don't realize it's them. They'll put everyone else, and they'll get rid of all the competition till all the spotlight's on them, and they lose all the advantages that made them successful. Let's say you have a territory that's not the best territory. You're going to count on the person in the main territory covering for everyone, giving you a little bit of grace that the whole company is not floundering because they need your 1 million. That person's supposed to get 6 million. You got to do 1 million because you got a crappy territory. Well, you need that guy to get, that lady or man or other salesperson to get 6 million. So why are you plotting against them? It's idiotic. Why are you hoping that the cornerback gets burnt so he gets burnt enough times in the season that they replace him with you? That your team doesn't go to the playoffs and you get less money, YouTube. Because if you're really that good, people put you on the field. If you're really that good, they'll make you the #1 salesperson.
Bane's hideout has lost all power. Any security systems will be...
I'm not ever your #1 salesperson. I'm someone you need to hold it down, to give an honest day's effort, and I can sell. In my last job I sold, didn't want to, not 40 years old where I got to sell like that, and old codger, YouTube. And my call to my customers was completely different. We had other people that didn't care about customers. They'd switch them to do whatever. But I was going to be there and answer their questions, do that stuff. I'm the person you'd have on your team and say, yep, we have great quality. Listen, I'll have Patrick call you and take care of your situation. So really what this is about, as I beat around the bush because we can't find the AI. Are you that person? Are you the person that's always, the arrow's always pointing everywhere out? It's never me, it's everyone else. How's that going to work out when you're kids? How did that work out for people in the government? When you're a manager, you take the blame and you give praise for everything that goes well. How the heck does the head of some department do anything? There's a billion people that are implementing those things. Those are the people that are doing the job, not the person on top. And I don't want to make it political. That's just managers. Everyone dislikes the manager that takes credit for your work. If you're the manager that does that, stop. It's miserable. People won't want to work for you. Rocky doesn't want to work. Rocky. I don't even know your name, dog. Roxy doesn't even want to work for me. I barely acknowledge her. If there's one thing on this channel, every once in a while, we're going to go into this. Yes, you like the Linux. Yes, I like doing the Linux for you. But really, I want you to switch off Windows, please. Why? Why do you care? Because it's just better. It's a better option. And I'm not picking the worst option. You can go against me. You can say, I like Linux Mint because it does this. You can do everything on every version of Linux. If you look, there's an article today, whatever today is, December, it's Monday, December something. And there's an article in one of those things how the person got rid of bazite and they put on catchy. But like, you didn't have to do, you should have known that before you ever put bazite on. But Ronin, you put bazite on. I did because I had problems, YouTube. And they false advertised to me. And then when it couldn't deliver what I wanted, you know what I did? I figured out how to do it. And I guess that's what you're waiting for. I'm going to show you how to mount those drives and everything. First, I got to pull my juicy 1 terabyte and put it on this here. So I got to take pictures of all that and do all that stuff. But I'm going to do it for YouTube as my holiday present to you. So are you the person? Let's say you're not the person. But if you are, take this as advice. You might work or you might live with people that they're never wrong. You got to help them see that. The ways not to tell them is you just got to keep doing it. If you're married to someone like that, God help you. Then you got to have some talk. You might have to go to counseling to get it out. And here's where I'm stuck, YouTube. So I walk back and forth. This is where your boy is not the smartest tool, not the sharpest tool in the tool shed. I just keep running back and forth. Maybe if I hop, I'll go over that invisible line. YouTube. That's embarrassing, YouTube. So finally I got out of there. Thank you, YouTube. Ronin Kaze out.